author of the New York Times bestseller Vengeance. He's former Speaker of the House, Fox News contributor Newt Gingrich. Mr. Speaker, I just can't get over two very important things here, and that is Comey and Strzok's exoneration before investigation, and then a FISA memo that they know Hillary bought and paid for that's unverified by anybody, that is presented to a FISA court, and then they don't tell the FISA court that Hillary bought and paid for the Russian lies. This is scary. This is about impacting the elections and the absolute integrity of the elections of this country.
Look, I think we're in George Orwell territory. This is why he wrote 1984. He was terrified as he thought about it, about the power of a state to begin to change history and to force people to learn a fake history. What you're seeing here is you and I've talked about this. Every day something new unravels, something falls out. You see things, you know, who would have dreamed of Susan Rice writing a memo to herself the way she did 15 days after a meeting? And the memo sure sounds like it's a whitewash memo. It's a, let me write this down so if anybody ever asks, it'll look correct. Who would have imagined that you were, as we're learning more and more about the former director of the CIA, who certainly sounds, the more we learn about him, like he is the worst possible person to have been charged of the CIA during that period. And every time we turn around, there is some new and I think very sobering revelation that doesn't fit the world you and I thought we lived in.
You know, why when I read Susan Rice's memo do I read into that, there might be something else, and that's why the CIA was done 15 days later? Then I see the involvement of Brennan and Clapper. And then I look at what I just mentioned about Comey exonerating him. There was no this whole thing was rigged. James Kallstrom's right. And then, of course, the FISA memo.
And then, look, I continue to tell people, I think the most fascinating single thing is Strzok's text message to his girlfriend or vice versa, that they have to prepare this briefing for Comey because Comey is going to brief Obama, and the president wants to know everything. Now, I never heard Comey say he had briefed the President of the United States. And it strikes me that it's pretty easy to say to the Congress, you got to bring Comey back in under oath. How often did you brief the president? What did you brief him about? What was he concerned about? I mean, we're really right at the edge of Senator Howard Baker saying, you know, the question is, what did the president know and when did he learn it?
It really has taken a turn in that direction. Then you go from the president down to Loretta Lynch. Right. And then you have the president to Loretta Lynch, who is meeting with Bill Clinton the week that his wife is going to be interviewed being sort of a phony term, by Comey, who's already been writing her exoneration for 2 months before the interview. I mean, you couldn't make this up as a serious novel because there are so many pieces here that are illegal. Every
that
night,
you couldn't imagine senior people doing this.
Every night on this program, I'm adding new information, and still, because the story it's getting so big, impacting so many people, you kind of have to build the bridge every night so everybody understands what the new information is. But I want to stay focused on this FISA for a second. It was unverified by Fusion GPS, unverified by the FBI. They knew Hillary bought and paid for it, and they didn't tell the FISA judge. And it wasn't done just once. They attempted it in July. They didn't get it. Then they did it in October. They got it. And then they renewed it 3 times. And the bulk of information that was presented was the Clinton bought and paid for dossier that they never informed the judge about. I mean, if I'm that FISA judge, I'm calling those people back in yesterday.
Well, look, at this point, you also have to say, when is the Congress, excuse me, when is the Congress going to call in the FISA judge? What was the FISA judge thinking? Why did he do it? Excuse me, why didn't he ask these questions? I mean, these are not, it's not implausible to say to the FBI, gosh, where did you get this dossier from? How was it produced? Have you validated? I mean, apparently the FBI validated nothing. They took this document, they walked in, and they gave it to him without any validation.
Yeah, unbelievable. I agree with you, Mr. Speaker. I do believe this. Just last question. Historically, I keep saying it is so much bigger than Watergate because of the use, the highest levels, the highest echelons in intelligence, the FBI, the DOJ, and the absolute abuse of power, the intelligence weaponry we have, and also the deception to the FISA judge.
Look, I believe this is the clearest example we've had of, excuse me, the danger of a deep state. Here you have bureaucrats out of control with the power of the government, threatening, I think, to undermine the entire process, including blocking, excuse me, blocking Trump from being president and protecting Hillary. And it's only an accident. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. A very small number of people in Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania changed history, or we would have learned nothing about this.
Well said. All right, Mr. Speaker, take care of the cough. I've had it for a week myself. Feel better.